Hi everyone. A little bit of a different start to the video, but I thought I would give you a little BTS here. So I have just set up my set, which you can see right here. It is still pretty basic. And here's basically my office space. But yes, I am about to start recording my video for Ren. All right, let's go. I'm going to switch to main camera, which is right there. So let's go. All right, hello everyone. I'm now seated behind my desk here in my office space, which, as I told you, I think in the previous one where I talked about the second episode of This Sick Boy short films, which I released last week. So if you haven't checked that one out yet, definitely go take a look. Those short films are so cool. But yes, anyway, I am in a new space and I've set up this set where it's I'm still working on making it look a little bit more interesting in the frame, but getting everything here, painting the walls and doing all that stuff took me so much time. You know, YouTube is demanding and we have to keep on churning out content. So I was like, you know what? I just gotta keep on going and you'll just have to bear with the bare walls for a moment. So it is what it is. So it's just, it's really nice. I'm happy to be here. And I am also very happy to start taking a look at this new video by Ren. They have been on a roll with putting out so many videos lately, and it's been so exciting to see, and like they keep on getting better and better, and I'm very, very intrigued about this whole Vincent's tale, and there's so much thought that goes into these videos. I also have to say, like, I'm only able to catch so much when I'm watching these because I really wait to watch them for the first time until I get to record these videos. So in case you are new here, my name is Manon the Reeper. I am a filmmaker and I like to break down these videos from a filmmaking point of view. So that's kind of what I do on this channel. I have a Patreon where you can see more of my own work as well as see some behind the scenes of what I'm working on. And yeah, definitely make sure to subscribe and follow along and check out some of my other Ren videos on the channel. I have done almost all of them, probably still not all of them. There's so many, and there's so many great ones and older ones that I still have to take a look at. But anyway, you can find them on my channel. All right, without further ado, let's just get into the video. Lovely lighting. Wow.
Anger. Have you ever felt anger with nowhere to place it. Vincent felt cold, neglected and jaded, impotent, empathy castrated. Look for the new thing, always look for the new thing, but never look inside, never look within, without, above, below. Same thing, wait, it gets deeper than that. The insane thing is sane men living in insane terrain, contort insane brains that are kind of deranged, strange, without the factor of cause and effect. Factually, the man's a casualty of constant neglect. Let's start at the start. Vincent was born in the dark, home birth to a mother, painted scars on her arm. Track march from the dragon, China white in the palm. Shooting up the birth canal, Vinny fell out like yarn. Tumbled out, himself unraveling, and that was the theme. Exceptionally average grade, sprayed with low self-esteem. From the fire to the frying pan, painting it green. When it's the cash that rules everything around me. Cream, get the money, funny Vin. He weren't ever good at hustling, shitty jobs that he was dead and stocking. Started a combustion, nothing. Pulled him out of debt, the debt collector's rushing to be stripping him of everything. Eventually, there's nothing. The cycle is a cycle for a psychopath on ice. The day repeats, the days are weeks, the weeks are most your life. When the day's done, it's the same one. It's a repeat, it's a rerun. A deja vu religion, a foreboding of a prison. Whole Britain, Great Britain, hell Britannia rule the waves. We started out with intentions and we ended up like slaves. Drink to kill the tension, but the drinks cost your wage. What helps you is what kills you when you're living too deep. And so it goes. Vinny starts to drink to let go. Soon he's drinking, cause when he don't drink, every day is a day on death row. So he drinks so we don't have to think. Mercy, days bittersweet. When the spirit that's inside of him sinks in his teeth. And the months turn over, May to October. More days pissed than the days he spent sober. Skin looks older, demeanor gets colder. Sledgehammer swing to that chip on your shoulder. A cold prison deep in alcoholism. 40% proof, no juice. Inhibition get loose by decision and taboos. When we're living for the booze. Who's who? He lose himself to. 1 too many, 1, 2, 3 shots down. Drown those sorrows up in London town. If we in for a penny, we in for a pound. Fate comes full circle. Now it's Vinny boys round.
Beautiful. Oh man, that was really great. I thought I'd pause it here because it's the first part, I think, of what is naturally sort of 2 parts. I don't know if they chose to release these 2 together or not, or if this is just how they always envisioned it. Beautiful music as always. But I'm not here for the music. Well, I am here for the music, but that's not what I talk about. So let's talk about some of the visuals here. Immediately, to me, it was pretty clear. So as a Dutch person, I'm quite familiar with Van Gogh paintings, and I have been to the Van Gogh Museum in Amsterdam and have looked at quite a few of these paintings. So I immediately sort of recognized that they were quite literally going for the bedroom, which is a famous painting, which we then saw at the very end. Literally, we saw the painting of Vincent van Gogh's bedroom, which is really famous. So really beautiful set building here. And it's even more interesting that they put it in a prison, which, you know, it mixes, you know, the tale of Jenny and Screech as well, but also specifically the Vincent van Gogh story, which is so fascinating. It's possible. I think it's very likely that Vincent van Gogh definitely experienced his bedroom as a prison. So I thought that was a very interesting twist. And then we have this beautiful lighting here where when Ren is revealed, just really beautiful with the yellow on the left. It's a really harsh spotlight on the left side of the screen, and then on the right they have a blue light, and then there's some flickering, which I felt like sort of emulated his emotional well-being throughout the song as he's singing, as he's rapping, sort of went along with that. So I thought it was really nicely done. You know, otherwise there isn't that much to say about this whole segment. It's mostly just about Ren. Really nice costume. It does look like a prison costume as well. Really like the sunflowers here, which was the previous one, and then we have the self-portrait as well. And the bed just looks really sparse and just kind of prison-like too. And the opening was also quite interesting. So basically we just follow this correctional officer in what looks like maybe they found an abandoned old prison that they could shoot in. I've been to a couple old prisons in the UK just because I know I have a morbid fascination with prisons. Also, I have a degree in criminology, which is not unrelated. I thought it was quite interesting how old and dilapidated this prison looks like. And there's a lot of these Victorian prisons in the UK that are, some of them surprisingly are still in use, but also there's a lot of them that have been abandoned for more modern prisons. I also really like the lighting here. Again, they have a lot of blue light, which is very fitting usually for anything that relates to justice, police, etc. You'll see blue lighting because it's just something we automatically associate with that subject. And I also really like the lighting here on the left side. It gives the space just a bit more depth, and it's just very nice. It makes it feel as if it's not just Ren here. And then, of course, we move into this space and we first see Ren through the little window, and then the door opens. And it's just a really, really nice sort of, not quite one shot, but it's like a tracking shot into this space. And I thought that was really nice. And that's when we first see him in the room. I am curious if they recorded this live on set again, as they tend to do or have done in the past. So definitely let me know in the comments. It's always so impressive. So, yes. Let's keep on watching. Let's go into the next part. Music.
Sirens start singing as the screws murder silence. Stand on my Miranda, my right to remain silent. One man's resistance is another man's tyrant. When tyrants make the law, they go to war with non-compliance. Locked up, Vinny been locked up since his mother knocked up. Kitty grew up fast, pulled his socks up, chop chop. Keep that credit top top. Time is money, tick tock. Quantify the price upon your soul and then it's chop shop. Not particularly special, Vinny spent his life a vessel for the musings of the devil. Repetition caused some issues, turned a hide into a jackal. Building pressure in the kettle, bubble up to boiling level. Ooh man, he's a mad lad, falling on the warpath. Vinny split the atom like a Nagasaki bloodbath. Skies are raining black ash, copper car lights flash. Red and blue kaleidoscope, some folks don't like that. Never mind, just a victim of society. The one that serves you alcohol and sells you your sobriety. The one that sells you sex as it pedestals virginity. The one where we elect these lying pests with God ability. 1 to the 2 to the 3 to the 1. Our boy spun his own web-fed tarantulas come like 9 to the 9 to the 9 for his crimes timelines into sex rich as fate was designed.
Here we are.
Just set the scene, it's 2019. Richard and a boy named Screech. The hands of fate, they touch and reach. Siblings buried, blood it bleeds. Etched in Richard's memories. Falls a model, troubled sleep. Takes a time of absent leave. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself, and there's nowhere to go when his friends on.
Wait. Okay, I'm going to pause it a little bit more often because there's so much going on and I don't want to miss anything, because there's already some really interesting stuff happening here. We have this whole car sequence, which is really fun, just to kind of go into how I think this was done. Basically, they sort of rebuilt a regular, car into what should look like a police car. They put this frame in here and they have a little blue and red light going, like switching lights, which is really cute because it really gives us that feeling that we're in a police situation. And he's dressed the same as he was in the first half of the video, except for the beanie. So it's I'm quite curious to see where it's going to go. So I really love some of these editing techniques here. So this was all added in post. It has this sort of fisheye lens sort of effect. It sort of swishes all of what happens in the background and also makes his face look a little bit more, fisheye, you know? And there was some glitching as well. It's really interesting, and I'm not sure what it means yet. And usually they're so intentional with how they use those types of effects that I'm quite curious. So this moment is basically where we see the continuation of when Screech gets shot at the end of I think it's the end of the Jenny and Screech videos. And so this is basically the story of the police officer that did that and how that affects someone. Ren actually narrates what happens in this alley, which is so interesting. He's still in this same sort of outfit. And what's also interesting is that I kind of noticed that his bracelet here kind of looks like handcuffs. Very interesting choice. I don't know if that was intentional, but it does look kind of fitting. Absolutely fascinating how Ren is sort of narrating this, and there's this sort of glitchy effect again, and the background becomes very unsaturated, whereas he is still sort of sitting in front of it, which makes it feel like he is almost like an actual narrator, but also more like a person from the news who's telling us about this situation here. So I thought that was really interesting. Very cool choices. And here's some more of these weird kind of glitches. So, okay, let's keep on watching because they were moving into some of these new scenes, and I just wanted to break it real quick and kind of go over what we had seen so far. But I'm really excited that we're now getting into some more of the story.
Touch and read, siblings buried, blood it bleeds, etched in richest memories. Thoughts a model, troubled sleep, takes a time of absently. Hitting the bottle to soften the blow in the walls of yourself, and there's nowhere to go. When it's friends on the force, they don't call, they don't show. Go to therapy, raggedy, seem to plateau. When it's Popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono, rebound no yo-yo. And so the time it moves slow-mo, you see the case was never closed, cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth, but dying womb life brings. The cycle of samsara always was quite amusing. Brother killed his sister, but the record seemed to show the brother never met his sister, didn't even know. So the tragedy was a catastrophe, a fate fucked up. Rich just losing sleep while his whole family's talked up. The 5 stages of grief is a common psychological model, often used to provide reassurance to all those stricken by loss. For loss comes with a cost like frostbite, shockingly cold, paving the road to decomposure, decomposing your soul. 1. Denial, pretending for a while, reality retired, but everything is changing. Richie lost the will to smile, how to reconcile when murdering a child. The 2nd stage is anger, feel it bubbling the bile. Anger damn the man that served the hand that wrote the plan. If God is will that's good and grand, then damn we are all are damn forsaken by creation. Revelations Richard cannot stand. The 3rd stage is bargaining, begging God for second chance. Lord, I know it is a reach, but I'm begging on my knees. Resurrect the boy James, resurrect the boy Screech. I'll devote my life to thee, I will live a life of peace. Stage 4 is depression, that's a lesson taught in grief. Depression, demonic like possession, that feeds upon this spark for life. No water is refreshing, no sunlight brings him warmth, no sleep will ever bring resting. His guilt and doubt are oh so loud, the silence sounds so deafening. Depression, the numbing of expression, the negative obsession, ruminating in oppression. Stressing is a lesson when your mind begins reflecting. That's stage number 5. 5 is acceptance. Souls get shaken up, the road's never quite ideal. Slow rise, dust it off. And let me tell you something, Richie, man, I'm proud. Cause you pulled a stitch from the seam, the wound was open weeping. Felt like a regression, but that flesh was set for healing. You wrestled imperfections, misdirections, what with demons. Most demons are a fallen angel, truth has double meanings. Perspective disconnects the trauma, trauma turns to lessons. The biggest curse you'll ever face could be your greatest blessing. Remember, in the darkest times, no need for second guessing. No path is ever linear, a stumble leads to stepping. You're a soul soldier, a scholar of life's sorrow, and day follows day. There will always be tomorrow when it gets colder. Whatever, it's only weather. Rain feeds the crops, let them grow, think clever. I'm so fucking proud of you, Richie, my boy. I know you're itchy, my boy, to get to work and deploy. Serve and protect my don, in for the right reason. I know you think you've done wrong, but look at who you become. It's your first day at work, big man. Hold that head up high, my friend. Come on. We're all proud of you, Richie. I hope you get out there and smash it. I mean, what could go wrong?
Wow, that was incredible, as always. I love how the story is continuing in all these videos years later, you know, so this is so cool. I forgot a little bit what happened in the Tale of Jay and Screech. So I had to think for a second, but it's so impressive. I absolutely love this. I also have a theory, and I haven't really read any comments yet, so maybe this isn't anything special and people are already long caught on to this, but I think that the Ren in white basically is Screech's angel, or his, you know, Screech in the afterlife, if that makes sense. He's dressed in white. Also, like, we often, usually it's the woman in white, but in film it's like it's sort of like a trope, if you will, or something that gets used a lot, is when women are dressed in white, they symbolize purity or innocence. And here too, I feel like he is wearing white, or he's completely dressed in white to show the purity and the innocence of Screech and how he got killed there. So I thought that was really a very, very cool moment. This is basically the moment where we find Richard here in the living room, and he's sort of just drinking and sort of watching TV in the dark and just looking completely dejected, and his wife is like trying to interact with him, but he's not really responsive. Really lovely lighting here, quite harsh light here on the left coming from the, you know, the TV, or what's supposed to be the TV, and then they put some lighting behind the sofa here to give it a little bit more depth, which is something that I could use. Obviously, like, Ren is a little bit more lit here, and everything in the foreground here is happening sort of in the dark, which I thought was an interesting choice. And again, Ren sort of gets separated from the rest in these sort of glitchy moments, and it's kind of almost, you know, as if he's, well, sort of stuck in limbo almost, you know. He's not quite there, but not quite to the other side yet either. And maybe that's what the story is about as well. It's like, this is sort of like part of his transition into the afterlife. So, I mean, quite literally, again, you could also interpret him wearing the white as in he's the ghost who's haunting Richard, right? Because that's also what it's about. It's him trying to process what happened, which again is also literally what is happening here in this scene, which was a beautiful one-shot, tracking shot, if you will, moment of this therapy session where Richard is talking and Ren again is sort of narrating this, and he's holding this megaphone as well, which was really cool. Very interesting, and I love how they were just continuing their conversation in the foreground, where, especially here, when Ren walks up to Richard and starts talking to him in a way. Very, very, very cool. Really lovely, really well done. Also really like this shot too. And just all of these shots that are like straight on of Richard. This guy has such an emotive face, just like Ren, but also he was, like, Ren is still able to communicate with us through the lyrics, but this guy had a lot of work, especially as an actor, to communicate all these emotions that he's going through. As Ren was saying, it's like these are the stages of grief, and we're sort of like seeing this guy go through that and go from his deep depression to sort of the all of the stages that he's going through with the therapist. And then by the end of it, you know, he's preparing to go back to work, and he is really mustering all of his bravery and kind of step into this role as a police officer again, which it's actually surprisingly gentle, and especially considering how badly the police is usually portrayed. It's a very gentle kind of portrayal also of the, I think, the psychology of a police officer, and kind of like going or showing what they can go through. And again, Ren is here narrating like an angel on his shoulder, you know. It's really well done. And then we have this sequence of, you know, Ren moves away, and we basically see Richard turning towards us. And there's so many emotions that we see move on his face. It's like it's trepidation, it's like it's the grief, it's the sigh that I thought was really beautiful. And then, trying to force that little smile. It's like, okay, I'm ready. Like this moment. I thought it was really beautiful. And it's really very, very, very touching. And I thought that was really well done. And again, like mad props to this actor, because it's not easy. And also the director as well, which I'm curious if Ren directed this or if someone else helped him with directing this as well. Oh, they don't have the credits here, which is a bummer. Usually they do list them. So I have no idea who directed this and who was involved in this one, but it's a really, really beautiful job. Very, very well done. Yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How this made you feel, and how some of those cinematic tricks and bits and pieces that you felt like really fitted well with this. I think it's as always, it's an incredible video, and I'm curious if there's going to be more. Does anyone know? Let me know in the comments. Or is this the end of the Vincent's tale? Thank you for watching this with me. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along for more. Check out my channel, because there's a whole lot more of Ren's videos for you to dive into. Like the video so more people can find this. Check me out on Patreon if that's something you're interested in. And I will see you for the next one. Peace. Go to therapy, raggedy seem to plateau when his popo went loco and woe so low that his mojo no mono rebound no yo-yo, and so the time it moved slow-mo. You see the case was never closed cause the motive was confusing. Orphan killed his sister, but his sister was removed when the mother died in childbirth, but dying womb life brings the cycle of samsara always was.